If you're looking for a neighborhood that has larger home sites, mature trees, and access to a premium golf club, make sure you stay to the end because you're gonna love what you see at Bentwinds. Because this neighborhood feels established rather than new, and Bentwinds may be one of the best communities you've never heard of. And here's what makes the difference. The minute that you drive into the Bentwinds community, you're going to notice the established neighborhood, the mature landscaping, the large lots. In fact, what makes it really different here is that members often describe Bentwinds as the club in the country rather than a country club. And after spending time here, I think that may be the perfect description because it's relaxed, it's approachable, and it's very different from what people picture when they hear the words country club. So today, I'm gonna take you on a tour of the neighborhood. I'm gonna talk about some of the homes, the golf club, and what's changing when we look at the golf club and who this community is really best suited for. So as I mentioned, Bentwinds is a private golf club. It's located in Fuquay-Varina. And Fuquay-Varina is just south of Holly Springs. So you're convenient to Cary, North Carolina, Apex, and Raleigh. And the community here is centered around the Bentwinds Country Club. And it's become one of the most established golf neighborhoods in all of southern Wake County. And what makes this neighborhood really unique, and especially when you compare it to some of the newer neighborhoods, is that Bentwinds is very spread out. The neighborhood developed over time, and that's a big part of the appeal. You're gonna come through here and you're gonna see the mature hardwoods, the winding streets, and the larger home sites that I mentioned earlier. And so that gives you a level of privacy that's really becoming increasingly difficult, especially throughout Wake County. And so once you drive through here, you're gonna feel that it just feels different than any of these newer neighborhoods that are being built today. In fact, most of the home sites here are over a half an acre. And so if you're considering a move to the Raleigh, North Carolina area and enjoy learning about communities like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel because each week we tour neighborhoods, we do what it's like to live in certain towns around the Triangle, and we help relocation buyers just like you figure out where they should focus on when they start their search in North Carolina. So let's start off by talking about the homes. I think one of the biggest strengths of this neighborhood is the home sites. The home sites are amazing. Like I mentioned, they're over half an acre. Some of them are bigger. It's a traditional neighborhood, and it's exactly what many buyers are looking for, especially when they're coming to the area. You are not going to find rows of brand new homes sitting on tiny lots. In fact, many of the homes in Bentwinds are older, but people are starting to come in and remodel those homes. So you'll see anything from an original 1980s house all the way to new builds or homes that have been remodeled over the course of the last few years. In fact, this neighborhood has increasingly become a lot more popular over the last several years. And for a lot of the buyers that are selecting this neighborhood, it isn't about finding the newest home here. It's about finding a great lot, a great location, and access to one of the area's premier golf clubs. And so depending on location, size, and updates, homes in here generally run from the upper 700s to well over $1.5 million. And then once buyers are finding the perfect house in here, they're really selecting this neighborhood too for the amenities. The lifestyle side of Bentwinds revolves around the club, it revolves around the country club, the golf club, and then it also has a beautiful new swimming area, tennis and pickleball courts. So not only do you have the golf, you have dining, social events, junior programs, and a very active membership. And the one thing I do like about what Bentwinds offers, there's multiple membership options that are available depending on how you plan to use the club. So whether you're a golfer, a tennis player, or someone who just wants to simply enjoy the social side of the club, there are definitely options for all of that. And so if you would like the latest membership information, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is right here on the screen, and I'd be happy to connect you with the club. And when we talk about lifestyle, I think what really separates Bentwinds from other golf communities such as McGregor or Preston, it isn't necessarily the golf, it's the atmosphere. And I've heard several members describe Bentwinds as a club in the country rather than a country club. And honestly, that may be the best way to describe it, because those other clubs tend to have more of a traditional feel and a very formal country club atmosphere. But when you come to Bentwinds, you're going to notice it's definitely more laid back. It isn't like a flashy neighborhood. People here are moving here not to show off. They're moving here because they want a beautiful home on a large, mature lot with privacy and have access to a fantastic golf club. And so the overall culture feels very approachable. It's down to earth. You're going to see people at the pool, neighbors gathering, golf carts moving throughout the community, and just people who simply just want to enjoy life. And another thing worth noting, that in this neighborhood, and a lot of people do appreciate this, there is not an HOA. And for a lot of people, that's a huge advantage of not having an HOA, because you're going to have more freedom and flexibility than you may find in, say, maybe one of these new master plan communities. And because so many of these homes sit on half-acre lots or bigger, you have much more breathing space than you typically would, again, in a newer community. So if you're looking for a highly structured button-up country club, this environment here in Bentwinds may not be the right fit for you. But if you're looking for a laid-back club with great golf, large lots, and a welcoming atmosphere, that's exactly where Bentwinds shines. And then one thing that's really exciting about Bentwinds right now is that this club is not standing still. In fact, the club recently completed improvements to the pool house and the tennis facilities that are right behind me, and there are even bigger projects on the horizon. In fact, the club is planning a major clubhouse redevelopment, and that's going to be happening towards the end of this year, 2026. And then the golf course is also preparing for a significant enhancement. In fact, the club is transitioning from bent grass greens to Bermuda greens, which many golfers throughout the Carolinas really prefer, especially in the summer, because they perform exceptionally well, especially during our hot summer months. And then another thing that really stands out here is the membership availability. Currently, there are approximately 351 golf members, and there's no waiting list to join. So if you've researched other private clubs or watched any of my last videos, you're going to know that this is not always the case around the Triangle. In fact, many of them have year-long or more wait lists. So at Bentwinds, buyers can move into the neighborhood and begin enjoying the club right away. If you're considering Bentwinds or any other golf community around the Raleigh, North Carolina area, feel free to reach out. Every golf community has a different personality, membership structure, and overall lifestyle. And helping buyers understand those big differences is exactly what we do. Another major reason why buyers love Bentwinds is the location. You're tucked away in this peaceful setting, but still convenient to Fuquay-Varina, Holly Springs, Cary, Apex, and Raleigh. And then the continued expansion of Highway 540 has made getting around the Triangle even easier than ever. And one thing residents really enjoy is how much Fuquay has grown over the past several years. You are going to find restaurants, breweries, shopping, healthcare, and everyday conveniences nearby this neighborhood. A local favorite is Aviator Brewing, and honestly, one of my favorite new spots is Lucci Blues, where you can grab a coffee during the day or enjoy cocktails and small plate food in the evenings. They have wine tastings, they have live music, and the atmosphere is just incredible. And the decor there, well, you're going to feel like you're in Tuscany. Places like that are part of what's making Fuquay feel different from a lot of the other suburban areas around the Triangle. So to me, Bentwinds is ideal for buyers who value larger home sites, mature trees, established neighborhoods, custom homes, and the ability to go in and maybe remodel a home, and access to a premier golf club. You have the country club amenities and a very relaxed lifestyle. And this is the type of community where people care more about having a great lot, a great home, and access to great golf than keeping up appearances. Who this neighborhood may not be a great fit for is this maybe not a fit if you're looking for a very highly formal country club culture where every detail is tightly managed and every social event revolves around the country club. So the bottom line, Bentwinds offers something that's becoming increasingly difficult to find here in the Triangle area. Half-acre or more home sites, mature trees, established neighborhood, no HOA, and access to a premier golf club with a pool facility, tennis, pickleball. This neighborhood feels authentic and it feels relaxed. And it isn't trying to become the newest community in the Triangle. It isn't trying to become the flashiest club in the area. It's a traditional golf neighborhood built around these lovely home sites. And with the ongoing investments in the club, the new Bermuda greens, the planned redevelopment of the clubhouse, and no membership waiting list, Bentwinds continues to offer something increasingly rare in Wake County. And the more time I spend here, the more I think how special this neighborhood really is. So if you're considering a move to the Raleigh area and you wanted to look at this neighborhood located in Fuquay-Varina, or you're looking at any other neighborhoods around the Triangle area, my husband Steve and I specialize in helping relocation buyers just like you. So feel free to call or text me. My contact information is right here. And if you've enjoyed this tour, make sure that you subscribe because we have a lot more community tours coming your way. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.